Touch the leg. This is Tibet This Week. We bring you the latest news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and Central Tibetan Administration. The top headlines of the week. His Holiness the Dalai Lama receives Sivananda Peace Award. China continues holding Tibetan monk in custody without verdict. Another monk succumbs to injuries sustained in Chinese custody. Sikyong continues official visits to Northeast India. Central Tibetan Administration congratulates launch of Parliamentarians support group for Tibet in Mexican Congress. Speaker Khenpo Sonam Tenphel congratulates new president of Chilean Chamber of Deputies. Deputy Speaker attends National Day celebration of the Czech Republic. Representative Thinlay Chukki launches Compilation of news on suppression in Tibet. Office of Tibet, Taiwan receives Kyabgon Chetsang Rinpoche and Abbot of Tashi Lhunpo Monastery. Liaison officer Kunga Tashi visits Tibetan Language and Culture School in New York and New Jersey. His Holiness the Dalai Lama was conferred this year's Sivananda Peace Award by the Sivananda World Peace Foundation at his residence in Dharamshala on Tuesday last week. The award was honored to His Holiness the Dalai Lama for his generous contribution in promoting peace, non-violence, and oneness of humanity in the world. This award was previously presented to leaders like the former President of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. Jigme Gyatso, a 36-year-old Tibetan monk from Tibet's Tsongkhapa Buddhist University from the traditional province of Amdo, is being detained by the Chinese government for over a year without a verdict. According to reliable sources, in June 2021, the Qinghai provincial police officers arrested Jigme Gyatso on charges linked to distributing poetry books to fellow monks at the Tsongkhapa Buddhist University during a graduation ceremony. The whereabouts of Jigme Gyatso remained unknown for over a year after his arbitrary arrest. He continues to be in Chinese custody without a verdict. Another Tibetan monk and political prisoner, Geshe Tenzin Pelzang, also known as Tenga, who served 6 long years in prison for fabricated political crimes, passed away early this month from prolonged injuries incurred in Chinese police custody. The sources said Tenga had no health issues prior to his imprisonment. He was unable to receive timely medical attention in the custody following torture that led to a severe health condition upon his release in April 2018. His health continued to worsen as he was unable to receive the standard treatment even after being released from prison due to political pressure. He passed away in the beginning of this month. Geshe Tenzin Pelzang was reportedly arrested by Chinese police authorities in the year 2012. His whereabouts remained unknown for 10 months, after which he was sentenced to 6 years in prison along with 3 other monks from Thakur Monastery. Geshe Tenzin Pelzang was from Norpa village, Thakur County, Katsi Prefecture. He studied Buddhism at the Tribung Lose Ling Monastery in South India in 1986. Upon graduation with a Geshe degree, he returned to Tibet. Sikyong Pempa Tsering visited Pomdila, Tenzikang, Tawang and the cluster areas of Tuting Tibetan settlement this week. During the visit, Sikyong met with local Indian officials and interacted with members of Tibetan community, followed by visit to the local monasteries, healthcare centers, local Tibetan offices and schools in the settlements. While interacting with people, Sikyong spoke about the primary goals of Central Tibetan Administration that are resolving the Sino-Tibetan conflict through dialogue based on the middle way approach and looking after the welfare of the Tibetan people in exile. This visit to Northeast region is part of Sikyong's commitment to visit Tibetan settlements across India to assess the public needs and ensure the requisites are met accordingly. The Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in exile, Khenpo Sonam Tenphel and Sikyong of the Central Tibetan Administration congratulated Deputy Salvatore Caro Cabrera for successfully installing the Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet in the Mexican Congress on Tuesday this week. Welcoming the Parliamentary Group of Friends of Tibet in the Mexican Congress for this significant and timely initiative, the Speaker and the Sikyong expressed their gratitude and hoped for a positive collaboration for the just cause of Tibet in Latin America. Representative Jigme Sring of the Office of Tibet Latin America read out the letters sent by Speaker Khenpo Sonam Tenphel and Sikyong Sring during the launch of the Tibet Friends in the Mexican Congress. The Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in exile, Khenpo Sonam Tenphel, congratulated Vlado Mirosevic on getting elected as the President of the Chilean Chamber of Deputies. The Speaker expressed his gratitude to Vlado Mirosevic for his solidarity remarks during the 8th World Parliamentarians Convention on Tibet held in Washington, D.C. and wished him the best in fulfilling the aspirations of the Chilean people. Representative Jigme Sring, Office of Tibet Latin America, visited Chile last Sunday, where he met with newly elected President of the Chamber of Deputies and other deputies from Valparaiso Congress, the Mayor of the Commune of Renga, and members of Friends of Tibet Chile Group. Representative Jigme Sring during the meetings explained the current situation in Tibet under the repressive policies of China and also distributed the books on Tibet. Deputy Speaker Dolma Tsiring Tekang attended the celebration of National Day of the Czech Republic and the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Czech and Republic of India at the invitation of Her Excellency Eliska Zikova, Ambassador of Czech Republic Nation, on Tuesday this week at the Embassy of Czech Republic, New Delhi. The Deputy Speaker met with a number of ambassadors, governmental officials, and strategic risk management consultants. Representative Thinlay Chukki of the Tibet Bureau Geneva launched a book titled Focus Tibet, authored by Uwe Meyer, a board member of Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association, on Saturday last week. The book compiled decades of news summaries drafted by the author from 2002 to 2021 as part of outreach and awareness campaigns on the situation inside Tibet. It documents systematic suppression and sequences of repression in Tibet under the occupation of China. Representative Thinlay Chukki thanked Uwe Meyer for his dedicated work and support for Tibet. She further noted that Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association is one of the most important Tibet support groups, which has been actively garnering support for Tibet both at political as well as community level. The author of the book, Uwe Meyer, is long-time Tibet supporter and has visited Tibet and witnessed prisoners in Lhasa in 1988. Office of Tibet Taiwan received Kyabgon Rinpoche and Abbot of Tashi Lhunpo Monastery, Sikyong Rinpoche, in Taipei last week. Kyabgon Rinpoche bestowed the peaceful Padmasambhava empowerment to Buddhist devotees as per the request of Office of Tibet Taiwan, Taiwan International Tibetan Buddhist Research Committee, and Tibetan Association Taiwan. Kunga Tashi, Tibetan Liaison Officer, Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C., visited the New York and New Jersey-based Losei Kizil Tibetan Language and Culture School on Saturday last week. The liaison officer toured and assessed the detailed report of the school and appreciated the teachers for their services despite their busy schedules. Kunga Tashi highlighted the need to encourage Tibetan children in learning about Tibetan culture and language. The visit's main objective was to understand the school's situation and to review the implementation of the resolution passed at the 20th North American Tibetan Association's conference. Those were the top news of the week. For more news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and Central Tibetan Administration, please visit the following websites. Thank you for being with us. Have a great weekend.